Yu Menglong's final moments before his death. Untold story. The doctor's autopsy became the breaking point. At first, officials were quiet, releasing only vague statements. But when the report leaked, the story changed forever. According to close insiders, the findings revealed secrets far deeper than what anyone had assumed. This wasn't simply about health or exhaustion. It was layered, complex, and it pointed toward pressures, struggles, and untold battles you had been facing. And that's where the story takes a darker, more personal turn. Behind the bright smile, Yu Menglong had been enduring a life of unimaginable pressure. Fame, though dazzling, comes with a shadow that looms larger than most fans can see. He was not just a rising star, he was a man constantly expected to be perfect. From the moment he stepped onto the stage, critics, fans, agencies, and even the media demanded more. More success, more charm, more roles, more songs, more presence. And slowly, that weight began to press down on him in ways no one realized until it was too late. His girlfriend, devastated and unable to hold back her grief, reportedly said in private, "He carried more than anyone knew. He smiled for the world, but inside he was crumbling." Those words, raw and heavy, struck at the heart of fans everywhere. They painted a picture of a man who gave everything to the stage, to the screen, to his audience, and left nothing for himself. What the public didn't see until later were the hidden signs. Insiders claimed Yu had been working relentlessly, filming dramas back-to-back, juggling his music projects, and maintaining a public image that left him no room to rest. His schedule was brutal, his commitments endless, and behind it all he was said to be fighting both physical exhaustion and emotional weight. Friends later confessed that he seemed tired, withdrawn at times, less like the bubbly figure fans adored and more like a man retreating inward. But he never spoke of it publicly. He didn't want to worry anyone. He didn't want to let his fans down. And so that evening became his final bow, not on stage, not in front of cameras, but in the quietest, most heartbreaking way possible. The evening was quiet, almost unnervingly so, when the world of entertainment was shaken by a piece of news no one could have ever expected. Yu Menglong, the actor, the singer, the dream of millions, was suddenly gone. It wasn't just a passing headline. It was a thunderclap in a clear sky, the kind of moment that makes people stop whatever they're doing, take a deep breath, and whisper, "No, this can't be true." What made it even more heartbreaking was the setting. That night, reports say Yu had been spotted hours earlier, smiling faintly at fans, carrying the weight of his usual charm, yet hiding a storm no one could see. To many, he appeared as he always did, graceful, humble, quietly radiant. But when news of his passing spread, people immediately asked, what really happened that night? Early reports suggested it was sudden, natural, perhaps even a tragic accident. But soon whispers grew louder. Something was not adding up. Something was hidden beneath the surface. Fans started to dig, reporters began to chase, and eventually the truth, or at least parts of it, began to rise from the shadows. As fans gathered outside memorial halls, lighting candles and holding photos of Yu, many began to ask the same haunting question. Why didn't we see it? Why didn't anyone notice the cracks before the breaking point? That night turned into a vigil, a sea of trembling lights glowing against the silence of grief. And yet, for all the love poured out, the mystery deepened. Because if the autopsy revealed what truly happened, why wasn't the whole truth made public? The whispers of secrecy only grew. Some said it was the industry protecting its own, shielding fans from a truth too heavy to bear. Others believed it was family privacy, an attempt to preserve dignity amid tragedy. But one thing became clear. Yu Menglong's passing was not just another celebrity story. It was a wake-up call, a haunting reminder of how fragile even the brightest stars can be. The aftermath was chaos. Fans demanded answers, the media circled endlessly, and the entertainment world froze. The news spread across every platform, every country where his dramas had touched lives. Hashtags trended, millions of comments flooded in, and in every one of them was the same cry. Why? Why so soon? Why him? His girlfriend's sorrow was unbearable. Some sources close to her revealed she had been by his side during his hardest nights, supporting him as much as she could, but even she couldn't have imagined the depth of his struggle. Her grief became the grief of the world. Pictures of her crying at the private funeral went viral, breaking even the coldest hearts. But there was more. Rumors swirled about whether Yu had been planning a new project, a big comeback, or even starting a family soon. Some spoke of his dreams left unfulfilled, roles he wanted to play, songs he wanted to record, places he wanted to visit. His passing wasn't just about the end of a career. It was about the end of a man who still had so much left to give. By the end of that night, fans knew one thing for certain. Yu Menglong's story didn't end with his death. In fact, his story was just beginning to unfold in a way no one could have predicted. Because hidden beneath the tragedy were secrets, truths, and revelations that would not only define his final moments but also shape his everlasting legacy. Fans were devastated, yes. But beyond the sorrow, something began to emerge. A collective determination to remember him, to honor him, to make sure his life and legacy would never fade. And in that remembrance, people began to look back. Not at the tragedy but at the remarkable journey that had made Yu Menglong a star in the first place. Born in Shanghai in 1988, Yu's path was never guaranteed. He didn't come from privilege or connections in the entertainment world. Instead, he carved his own way, step by step, fueled by passion and a relentless work ethic. Before he was the Yu Menglong adored by millions, he was a young dreamer who spent long nights practicing music, rehearsing lines, and studying the craft of performance. His friends recalled that even during his earliest days he was different. Focused, dedicated, and yet never arrogant. When he finally landed his breakthrough role in Eternal Love, also known as 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms, audiences immediately connected with him. The quiet sincerity of his character, the emotion he poured into every scene, made viewers fall in love not just with the role but with Yu himself. He wasn't just acting, he was living through his characters. And that authenticity became his trademark. Yu Menglong's career quickly blossomed, and with it came recognition. Over the years he was nominated for and won several prestigious awards, including Best New Actor Award in 2017 for his performance in Eternal Love, which marked his official rise in the industry. Most Popular Actor in Web Dramas in 2018, celebrating his wide influence across online platforms and streaming audiences. Best OST Performance Award in 2019 for his contributions as a singer, where his heartfelt voice in drama soundtracks deeply moved fans. And the Asian Star Award in 2020 at a regional ceremony, highlighting his growing recognition beyond China, particularly in Korea and Southeast Asia. Though his career was tragically cut short, critics and fans alike agreed. Yu was an artist who had only just begun to touch the peak of his potential. His ability to cross seamlessly between acting and music earned him the rare label of a double talent, respected in both fields. His colleagues often praised him for his professionalism. Directors spoke of how he would rehearse tirelessly, refusing to settle for mediocrity. Musicians recalled his humble presence in the studio, where he would insist on retakes until the emotion in his songs felt just right. For Yu, awards were never the goal. But they became proof of what everyone already knew, that he was a rare gem in the entertainment world. Yu Menglong wasn't just an actor. His music career, though sometimes overshadowed by his dramas, was equally powerful. His voice carried a softness that lingered, a rawness that touched. He didn't sing to impress, he sang to connect. His songs often reflected themes of love, loss, and resilience. Fans shared stories online of how his music had guided them through heartbreak, loneliness, or even depression. To many, his songs felt like letters written personally to them, an invisible hand reaching out in their darkest times. His contributions to drama soundtracks became iconic. When his voice played in a pivotal scene, it didn't just complement the story, it became the story. And that emotional depth earned him respect not only from fans but also from composers and producers who worked alongside him. While the world celebrated his achievements, the people closest to Yu suffered the most unimaginable pain. His girlfriend, who had been a quiet presence in his private life, was left shattered. Reports described her inconsolable at the private funeral, clinging to his photo, whispering words only she could hear. Insiders said she had stood by him through his struggles, offering strength, yet even she was unaware of how heavy his burdens had become. Their love story had been mostly hidden from the public, shielded from the chaos of fame. But after his passing, the depth of her grief told a story far louder than any public statement. She wasn't just mourning a celebrity. She was mourning the man she loved, the future they had quietly dreamed of, and the life that would now never come to be. Rumors even spread about whether Yu had been thinking of starting a family. Some said he had privately spoken about wanting children one day, about wanting to balance his career with a simple, quiet life surrounded by love. That dream, now shattered, added to the heartbreak felt by fans who wished he could have found the happiness he deserved. If there was any silver lining to this tragedy, it was the unity it sparked among his fans. From Beijing to Bangkok, Tokyo to Toronto, tributes poured in. In Shanghai, his hometown, fans organized candlelight vigils where entire streets glowed with thousands of tiny flames. In South Korea and Japan, fan clubs placed posters and banners in entertainment districts, honoring him with words of love. In Southeast Asia, online streaming parties were held where fans watched his dramas together, turning sorrow into remembrance. Across the United States and Europe, international fans posted heartfelt video tributes, weaving together clips of his most memorable performances and songs. Social media became an ocean of grief and celebration. Hashtags in multiple languages trended, not just about his death but also about his life. His smile, his kindness, his artistry. Fans who had never met him felt as if they had lost a friend, a brother, someone who had always been there through the screen. Even in death, Yu Menglong continues to shine. His dramas remain on streaming platforms, drawing in new fans every day. His music is replayed endlessly, carrying comfort to those who still feel his presence in every lyric. More importantly, his passing has opened conversations about mental health, the pressures of fame, and the hidden struggles that so many in the entertainment world endure silently. In his absence, Yu left behind not just art but a lesson, that kindness, compassion, and honesty matter more than perfection. Some fan clubs have even begun to create scholarships and memorial foundations in his name, determined to ensure that his story continues to inspire future generations. They want Yu Menglong to be remembered not just as a star, but as a symbol of resilience, talent, and humanity. And perhaps that is the truest form of immortality. For though his time on Earth was painfully short, the love, comfort, and inspiration he gave will echo far longer than any headline or rumor ever could. As this untold story closes, one thought lingers. Yu Menglong's final moments may forever remain a mystery, but his life is not defined by how it ended. It is defined by how he lived. By the roles that made us cry, by the songs that healed our hearts, by the humility that made millions feel close to him even from afar. Yes, the world mourns what we lost. But perhaps more importantly, the world celebrates what we had. The gift of Yu Menglong, if only for a short time. He may have taken his final bow, but the curtain never truly falls on a soul that touched so many lives. Yu Menglong lives on in every drama, every song, and every heart that refuses to forget him. And if you've been moved by his story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, so his memory and the stories of artists like him can continue to reach more people around the world.